which is Donald Trump threatening to sue the women who are accusing him of sexual misconduct. Let's take a list here. You get 11 women. Look at this list. 11 women that have come forward since the tape of Trump making those lewd comments first surfaced. And these alleged assaults, some of them taking place more than 3 decades ago. The first one allegedly happening on a plane in 1980, and the last one we know of allegedly happening during a Miss Universe pageant in 2013. Most of the accusations are similar: groping, kissing, this kind of thing. So one question being asked is why is it that none of these women filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump? And does he have the ability really to sue them? Joining me right now with more analysis, former New York Lieutenant Governor Betsy McCaughey and Prosecutor Wendy Patrick. Good to have you guys here. Wendy, you have handled a lot of sex crime cases. Why is it that these women never filed any charges in your view, and do they have the ability to do so now?
You know, Trish, sex crimes are by nature one of the most significantly underreported crimes that exist for a variety of reasons. And you've heard some of them as these allegations have come forward. Now, on the other hand, they have the right to sue if they can find civil grounds to do so, because remember, statute of limitations no doubt has run on a lot of them. But Donald Trump also can sue if he wants to. But remember, if he does this, if he wins, he's going to spend the first 100 days in office taking his first 100 depositions and then some, because this type of litigation is incredibly complex, not to mention costly.
But that's interesting what you're saying to me. He does have the ability to sue. I mean, you know, Betsy, one of the concerns here is that people say, oh, you know, he's a public figure, and, you know, they can say sort of whatever they want about these public figures, and he doesn't have much in the way of recourse. I mean, you think about all these accusations that just suddenly came out.
I thought immediately of the Duke lacrosse case or the UVA fraternity rape case.
The Duke lacrosse case, that was just tragic. There was a woman who accused those players of rape, those lacrosse players there. It turned out the whole thing was fictitious. She made the whole thing up.
And the same in UVA, University of Virginia. But here's the issue. The public, all of us, are big losers in this sense, because those other cases didn't tip a presidential election. But here it might very well. And we'll take one example. According to one woman, some 40 years ago, she was on a plane, she says, with Donald Trump, and he groped her. The New York Times took that accusation. They couldn't determine the year of the flight, much less the date, the departure city. They had no information about this flight. They had no witnesses at all. And yet they rushed, and I mean rushed, 2 days after they first heard about this woman, they put it on the front page of the New York Times.
That's just irresponsible journalism, though.
That's right. But the New York Times has actually stated publicly now that they are determined to, quote, bring down Donald Trump, and they have officially, publicly abandoned their standards of journalism.
Wow. So, Wendy, I guess very quickly, because I'm out of time, but does he have a case then against the New York Times or against these women that are making these accusations?
Well, remember, he's a public figure, and what that means is that any kind of allegations have to be proven to have malice. In other words, he's not like a normal person. Having said that, he's suffered a devastating loss of reputation, but one would argue, is it over and above what came out after the Access Hollywood video? All of those factors may weigh for and against the decision ultimately made. But remember, Donald Trump also threatens to file lawsuits that he never actually filed. So let's keep that in mind as well.
Wendy, Betsy, thank you so much.